Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, one and all, my friends, to the MRC show. Of course, it never, ever ends. We are here this evening, Tier 2 Championship potential decider between, it is the McLaren of Fanning and Mr. Calvin, with all the birds and the bees and all of his animals fighting out here in the Circuit de Catalunya. In a little bit overcast at the moment, but well, we're going to see some rain to spice things up in the Spanish sun, where we will wait and see. Joining me this evening, it's been a little while, I think, since we've been huddled together in the commentary box. I must just get him off, I think, last time round, but he's back. He is known to many by, well, he's got a few nicknames, but we'll just call out straight out there. We'll go with the King Kong Anaconda himself. It's Mr. MRCX. It's Connor. Good evening.
Hello. Good to be back. Tier 2's always exciting, so how are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm actually stoked to be back in the comms seat. I'm looking forward to this one as well, to be honest.
Yeah, Tier 2 always brings the excitement, you can guarantee that, so I'd say the most competitive tier at least, so definitely going to be a good one.
It is, yeah. Martin's already put him. It is all dry for the race as well, so thank goodness for that one. A couple of people have mentioned tonight. We've got the Stars and Stripes of Uncle Sam. He is in the blue of the AlphaTauri this evening. He's doing a bit of a warm-up on his lap. We've got Confetti starting his fast lap. He was out there very, very early, very, very quick and on the ball as he goes around turn 3. Is it going to be flat? It's just a little bit of lift. Well, there's a little bit lack of grip there and just getting the feel. We've got Rotterdam as well out on track. Anton as well. And there's a couple of others names to mention of reserving a format, but we'll come to them in due course. So Confetti in the Haas, going around turn 7 and 8, easy to get that wrong and run a little bit deep into there and then bounce over that large sausage. The curve, oh, he's gone out! Oh, through 9, lost a front wing, very easy to, oh, he's out!
That was strange.
Well, I don't think he enabled reverse, and he kept hammering the throttle to go forwards.
Oh wow, I was gonna say that looked very strange.
A little bit, but we shall move on, and maybe come back to that on the stewards panel later on, just asking about what happened there. But we've got a few people on flying laps now. Only Monster and Ryan are in the pits at the moment. So single track, Firerooster and Loppy are on outlaps. No times as yet. I think we're going to start seeing the first ones come through very soon. We're on board with the AlphaTauri as Rotterdam going very wide in 10. And I think that's quite a tricky corner in turn 10 now. I think a lot of people prefer it than the previous turn 10. I'm not so sure.
I prefer it because I don't know if you remember the old turn 10, you had turn 10 and you had that little flat left-hander, which was an absolute nightmare if you hit the bump in the middle of it. And it's made that a lot easier. Yeah. You're right, actually, yes, it is. That turn 11 was, you'd bounce over the curve a bit, wouldn't you? And you're right, actually. Yeah, your car would, you just lose control, and there was always a big bump in the middle of it, and it made it a nightmare. So
yeah, it does help 11. Yeah, that's a fair point. I just can't seem to get the grip to it. I struggle around this every single lap. I can't get either the turn in right, the middle of the corner right, the throttle application right. As we're going to see, yep, there it is. We saw purple middle sector from the Stars and Stripes, and he is there now. Mr. Moonshine is in a divisional pole, an 18.2 ahead of Tom Brown, which we know is a very strong qualifier as well.
We've got an insane banker.
It really is, isn't it? Yep. Oh, Martin's had an invalid lap. Is he actually going to go for it? Was that just his warm-up lap? I'm not sure.
I think that was a warm-up lap, yes.
Yeah. But he's on it now. I hope he hasn't invalidated this and next.
He's invalidated this one, yeah.
Yeah, so, very, very on the back foot is Mr. Hills.
Last the first, question mark.
Ooh, potential. Like, who's that in the background that's spun? That was an Alpha Aston Martin, I should say. That's Alex. It'll go around, but we're going to go back to the Mercedes, the the star, the three-pointed star of the Firecocker.
Yeah.
A bit of a lock-up, not a problem though. Gets it turned, gets it through the last two corners, powers out, flat out through the final corner. DRS wide open. How is he going to fare? How is his opening lap time? Puts it into 5th. Good lap.
Yeah, very good lap there. That last section is very difficult, or at least I find it very difficult. You've got to really nail it on the curves, and if you hit the sausage curve, you could end up spinning.
You
That's
could.
for sure.
Yes, you're right, you could. Oh, we've got our very own Mr. Simba, the Lion King, is in the chat watching. I'm going to presume his good lady is there as well. Usually is.
Yeah, he's going to be watching because he's going to be here in this tier next season, so he's going to be scouting his enemies.
Yes, very true, of course. Tier 3 champion, isn't he? So, yes, of course. So Martin's now on and in lap. Let's have a look at Mr. Monster. Currently one of the very few. Dumbest Hornet is currently out. It might not be on a flyer. Andrew's got purple middle sector. This could be interesting. This could be a good banker from Andrew. I'd like to say he's come on well in the second half of the season, hasn't he? He's had a few results early in the season that just didn't really go his way, and he's stuck at it, which is something we always say to every driver, and he seems to be, pulling it back, you have to say.
Yeah, I think it was Zandvoort. He had an absolutely stunning drive, and I think he finished 4th or something, but he started quite low down and drove absolutely amazingly. So
yeah, he did, you're right, yeah. And now finally taken to track, it's the Tyre Whisperer.
Is that Mr. Red Car Rambo by any chance?
It certainly is. It certainly is, and the beautiful Papaya.
Yeah, it is a nice car, that is for sure.
I'm biased.
Well, it's now got the new livery as well, hasn't it?
It has.
I can't remember what the name of it was, but it's got a new one.
Yeah, they did call it a name as well. I can't remember what they got, but it's like that interior kind of 3D look on it as well, haven't they? Which I think looks at the extra sponsors, and it does look very good. And also, Mandy, that is not fair. Can you send me some? Just cooked a roast chicken dinner.
Wow.
I'm on my way. We'll just ditch the comms. You guys can find. You'll watch it. It'll be fine. We'll stick it on broadcast mode.
Mark will leave his PlayStation on, and you lot watch in silence.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going for a roast chicken.
We're going for a feast. We're going for a feast. See you later.
Oh, Martin's TV disconnected on his outlap.
Oh.
Wow. But to be fair, you have to say done well to not retire and not ditch it into a wall.
Well, yeah. I mean, that is an achievement, to be fair. But how did it manage to disconnect? That's more the question. How did you manage that?
I'm sure he's based in Wales, isn't he?
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Sheep got brought a bit through the wire. Thinking.
That was gab levels of bad.
Well, he's not here this evening. He's not on tier 2. He's entertaining clients, shall we say, to put mildly and nicely.
Yeah.
We're still before the watershed.
Not out of choice, though, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, apparently not. Oh, Red Bull goes very, very wide in the background. I think that could be Dumbest Hornet pushing through. But let's have a look at Ryan. He's done quite well so far. This is obviously a banker for him. He will have time for another lap. Going with the standard Ayrton Senna tribute helmet that he likes to run. With full respect for it as well.
While we're on a bit of a quiet period, do you want me to announce the permutations for tonight?
That is a good call, of course. Oh, Sergeant Uncle Sam!
Whoa.
Disqualified.
On provisional pole as well.
Yeah, and now he's going to be starting from the back of the grid. Tom Brown actually did a great second lap and was only 0.003 of a second behind.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That was a great lap. And yeah, that's wow.
At P3 as well.
Yeah. Let's look at, of course, one of the championship contenders, the other McLaren, who is on an in-lap at the moment.
Yeah, he's just popped at P4 himself, so...
Going for it. Go on, you go with the permutations.
Right, so...
The man with the numbers.
Calvin has a 32-point lead. at the top of the championship, which means basically if Fanning wants to keep it going, he has to outscore Calvin by 7 points. So if Fanning is to win, Calvin just has to finish second with fastest lap to become champion today. If not, then if Calvin beats Fanning, it's over. The title is done.
Yep. And if not, it will go to next week, of course, Tier 1 and 2. This would be the last race of the season. Unfortunately, we will see that on Wednesday for Tier 3 and 4. But unfortunately for 1 and 2, we had, that issue of a session when we had that other game that got released, people kicking a round thing, rubber thing full of air around was released, and the glitches in the lobby, unfortunately, so we had to red flag both Tier 2 and Tier 1, and they will be racing next week in the downtown Miami Vice, and that'll be brought to you, live Monday. I think it's myself, I do believe Mr. Night Shadow will be here, Symbol will be here, and I think it's yourself, isn't it? I can't remember.
I don't know if we've made the full plan for next week yet, but I think it could be almost a swap of what today was meant to be, you and Simba, me and Gab potentially, but...
I think you could be right, yeah.
Yeah.
We could have it, so... Yeah, you might be thinking it's the end of the season, folks. We're not. We've still got one more week to go, and then we'll be back, actually, straight away the week after as well, so there's no respite between seasons for the Tier 1, Tier 2 drivers. They'll be straight back on it. Let's have a look down at Scratch. He hasn't set a lap time yet, has Mr. Benzema.
Yeah,
in his Williams, the last two corners. Is he going to finish and set a lap time? He is. Is he going to hold it together through the last corner? He is. Doesn't go wide or doesn't invalidate. So what's he going to do with that? Pops up to 11th.
Good lap there from him. Under a bit of pressure as well, so...
I tell you, he was under pressure and has popped it up into third. It's only Mr. Hills.
Yeah, that's a very good lap. And just watching Ant through the middle sector, he's 6/10 up.
Ooh,
so
jump on board with that. This could put him inside potentially top 7 with that.
Yeah,
they're all very, very close there. The top few from 4th upside down to 10th, 0.2 of a second separating 6th place, or 7 drivers in 6th place. That is very, very tight.
What's he going to do? He looked very good. That last sector was very planned.
Oh,
wow.
second! Wow, he really gained in the last sector. He
gained 1.4 seconds on that lap.
That's an incredible... Wow.
Yeah.
Made Tom sweat a little bit. Will he have time to get round, get in and get back out again? Well, potentially. It'll be a hard push, but I think he will do, yeah. In, change tyres and out.
Yeah. Wimax has popped at P3 as well, which we missed at some point, I think. He went
I think he was there. He was actually in second behind Tom.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's me chatting rubbish.
Well, it's only taken us 15 minutes, so you're doing alright. It's not too bad.
We do that for most comms anyway, to be fair. Well, we always tell you it is quite an easy job, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I'll tell you what, that's something interesting. That on board with Rotterdam, he went very wide outside of the downhill left-hander of turn 5 and right over the curves and didn't invalidate, so that's interesting.
Yeah, I've noticed you can get away with that. To be honest, it does lose you time going out there, so... But is that right? He's just got the purple.
Exactly, yes, 6 cents. Oh, very squirrely through 11. Good evening, Mr. Sergeant. It is M&M's next week. You're right, Mark. It is. And gone very wide again, but that one didn't invalidate again. Is he struggling for good? He's just pushing that little bit on. He's gone. He's gone round, pushing that extra bit too hard right at the end of the lap. So let's have a look. Who is on a lap at the moment? I think Alex is... Well, it didn't give us a delta, so I'm presuming he's on a lap.
I was confused by that.
Yeah, I was. I'll tell you who we're going to cut with. We're going to go on board with Mr. Tom Brown, who is now, I believe, starting his last final lap. So let's go on board with the Red Bull man, currently in provisional pole, down into 3rd, upward shifts into 4th through 1 through 2. You can actually take that inside curve now on this game. It was curve of death in previous iterations. Flat out through turn 3. Spot the braking, spot the late braking as much as you can, carry as much speed and get the car, the nose turned in, upshift to stop the rear from sliding up the hill from 4. Downhill braking, difficult sometimes to see the apex, especially those doing the cockpit cam. of 5. Easy get on the power, nice and early. Flat out there into 6. Again, you can run wide. It's almost need to be patient. Use that sausage curve of 8 very, very nicely. Slight lift. You kind of feel like that's the right way to do turn 9. Some people will do it flat. And I'm sure we'll see that in Tier 1 coming up soon. Heavy, heavy late braking into turn 10. Lets the car run wide and straightens up to keep the power straight in the straight line. Long, long turn 12. Got to be patient, patient, patient. Waiting for full throttle. There it is. Into 13. Again, easy to run wide and understeer through there. 14 and 15. And he's bailed on his lap time. That's so unlucky from Tom. It was quite a neat lap so far. I wasn't even looking at the timing, I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, he looked very planted, but I think at the minute the man under pressure is Mr. Calvin down in P13, the championship leader.
He is, and he's on a lap currently. What's Womack's going to do? It's a slow one for him. I think he's going to start off on a lap, but we're going to look at Calvin. I think he's on a slow lap as well. I'm just taking 2 laps to warm his tyres up. He's going to, yep, you can see that the light stopped flashing at the back of the car, so the RS light warming up now to go for his final attempt. Currently, as you said there, Connor, in 13th. Pressure on a little bit. Fanning's in the pits. He's done from qualifying. He'll start minimum 7th with that. It's time to get a busy track, but there's a little bit of room there for Calvin. I don't know if that's his teammate that's just at the end of 3 that's had a moment. Andrew was looking, he's feeling a bit confident coming into this and just not worked out that way. But we know Andrew's a better racer than he is. Qualifier says so himself. Oh, it's an Alfa Romeo, so I do apologise to Andrew.
Yeah, I think that
Stu
is...
or Carl. But everyone's moving well out of the way. Very good awareness from the Red Bull as well. Keeping very nice and neat is Calvin on this lap. Let's see how is he going to get through the top of the hill. Doesn't go too wide. Gets the DRS wide open. Car's moving out the way all the time, and he's half a second up. This will move him quite nicely. Should be into the top 10 as long as he has a really good last set. There is a Williams, I think it is, ahead. But is that going to move out the way? It certainly is. He's not going to be hampered at all. That's I tell you what, that's pretty good awareness. That's an Alpine. Better awareness from the drivers than it is the commentator, but but that's what we need to see, and that's absolutely brilliant fun. And what does Calvin do crossing the line? Goes 3rd!
Yeah, what a lap. The man to watch at the minute though is Jacob. He's absolutely flying.
He's popped. He just finished the line into 7th.
He lost a bit in the last sector because I think the Red Bull of Thomas Hornet spun in front of him in the last corner.
Oh, nightmare from that. So Tom Brown currently is on. Anton stopped it into 2nd. We missed that.
No, that was the lap he did earlier.
Oh, yep, so it was. My bad.
Yeah. But Stu's on a good little lap as well at the minute, so...
But we're looking on board. Anton is slightly down in the 1st sector. Only has to gain a 10th back to potentially take that pole position away from Tom Brown. I'm sure Anton has had a pole position this season. I could be wrong. I think he has. I believe he shows the pace for it. As he's going to get through the 2nd sector, he's a 10th down and locks up. We need to do a different view. I don't need to see the rear wing at this point. He's not fighting and battling with anybody, but how is this last sector going to be? Again, waiting through 12. Down the hill in 13th, hooks that inside curve up very nicely indeed. Gets the car stopped and rotated. Takes a bit of the inside curve, may have unsettled him and delayed the power. Well, let's have a look. Doesn't look decent last sector. He could have gained a bit of time. What's he going to do? So close. Doesn't improve on his lap time, but so close.
Yeah, that was incredible. Genie up to P9. Great lap from him. Yeah. Ryan's just popped at 10th as well.
Yep, so last minute, as we mentioned about the track evolving and getting everybody out there. So there we are, folks. Everybody's crossed the line, and the penultimate qualifying session for the Tier 2 is Tom Brown will be on pole position in the Red Bull. Anton with a great lap. He will be just behind, 200ths of a second behind in 2nd. Calvin potentially could wrap up the championship. He was in a great position to. He starts 3rd. Womack's in 4th. The 2 Aston Martins next with Single Track and Alex. The other Mercedes R5 in 7th. Call Me Maybe is going to be in 8th. As we mentioned there, Connor Genie in 9th. Red car pops it into 10th, and we will come back to the following 10 shortly.
That's
That was
an
a good,
interesting
good session.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look at that gap out front. 2800 between the top two. So,
Exactly. Where's he?
5/10 separate the top 10. Well, 5.5.
Yeah.
So, very competitive.
It is, yeah. But we'll continue down the order. We mentioned Ryan there in 10th spot, leader of the McLarens, trying to maybe help his teammate out this evening was Stu in between them in 11th, finding that in 12th. Dummett Hornet, the second. Red Bull in 13th. Floppy Loppy in 14th. You've got Rotterdam in 15th. Green Benzema in 16th. Not the best day for the Williams boys, you'd have to say. Scratch has been strong previously in recent races. And then we've got Carl in 17th, Andrew in 18th. Confetti we saw retire strangely early on in the session, and Stars and Stripes disqualified for spinning and blocking the track. But what I was trying to say earlier, before the action was absolutely all over the shop, which was great to watch, is so many people got out the way and were aware.
Yeah,
that's something that you don't see as often in, you'd have to say, some of the other tiers. I'm not going to mention which tiers, but that was very good awareness and properly sporting as well.
And in all honesty, Spain's one of the harder tracks to get out of the way because it's just corners. So,
and it's fast corners for the majority as well.
Yeah. I mean, all you have to do is just move offline, you know. But sometimes I get it can be hard, you can get blindsided, you can get anything, but majority of the time there's always a space for you to move to when someone's on a lap.
Yeah, there is, yes. Yeah, true.
But yes, it was very good awareness, you could see that today in qualifying, so...
Exactly that. So, we've got a dry, sunnier race for you this evening. I hope it's going to stay out for the Tier 1 folks next, but we will wait and see. I know, I had to put that in.
That's you like praying to the gods there, isn't it?
Little bit. Gav's not here. He can't do a rain dance, so you know I might be a bit safe. Well, no, please don't. We've already got your curse. To be fair, you lasted 18 minutes without the curse. I think that's a record.
I was watching Confetti when he spun.
Yeah, so was I.
So both of us, not just me then. That's
probably why I ended up retiring.
I'm not going to get a horrible DM then after this saying, you made me die.
No, okay, it was... No, I'll take some of that responsibility. Only some.
I'll just wait till Tier 4 when everyone crashes again because of me. But, you know.
Right, folks.
The curse.
Yeah, exactly. It is bright sunshine, so we're going to have the formation lap get underway. Let's have a quick look at the tyres that everyone's starting on. Wow. So Tom's on the mediums. Most of the runners are on the medium tyres. Anton on the softs. And then we've got Rotterdam, Green Benzema, Monster, Confetti and Stars and Stripes on the hard tyres. But the surprise there, Anton on the softs.
Yeah, I've noticed, I think he did it at the last race as well. He tends to go something different, but I'm not surprised by the lack of hard tyre starters because if I'm honest, I think they feel terrible on this track. Hard tyres, so it'll definitely. But the guys towards the back have absolutely nothing to lose today. So
yeah, I think the alternative strategy, you know, keeps if the potential for cars keeps the field, but keeps their tyres going longer into the race, then they can stop the mediums, the quicker tyres, and take them a long way. Now, I mean, it doesn't matter now because everybody is racing, they can't steal this, but I know a certain person practiced during the week. I'm not going to reveal who, but he said I'm sure he did medium soft and got the mediums quite a long way into the race. And that's one of the things, it's that the left front takes such a beating on it because of turn 3, turn 9 for example, on the last corner. It takes quite a well, and turn 4 actually takes a lot of work, and
yeah,
but it doesn't. Your tyres can last a long time. So potentially we may see some of the hard runners stretch out their stint to go onto their hard tyres. We may see some of the medium tyre runners try and go long as well and strap on a set of softs for this one. So I think the strategy still could be wide open on here. And you've got a question to say, are you ready for Wednesday?
Oh, who was that? Mark Dennis, by any chance? Yeah, we may be doing a bit of a start from the back.
Okay.
The pair of us in on Wednesday. So, yes, I'm ready. It'll be fun, that's for sure.
Certainly will. Certainly will, I'm sure. Don't forget, folks, to tune in live again. MRC YouTube channel. Getting a few drivers not being able to line up on the grids. It happens. There's a few drivers now, but we're going to get a good view down the straight at about 3 or 4 sets of lights by the looks of it. But here we go. 3 lights, 4, 5 lights are lit, and we go racing. Did not hold long at all. And the typical delayed glitch, and the drivers will get going eventually. Don't you love it when this happens?
Alex has had a great start on my screen.
Did he? Why am I still stationary? Why is nobody moving?
I'm still stationary as well.
Alex did have a good start. He's now dropped back to 6. There we go. Now we're going. Now we're away. And I tell you what, there's a who was that got the wheel spin? It was the Mercedes of Womack's. Got a lot of wheel spin. There's a big crash. I think Martin's involved in there. There's a Ferrari involved. Single track's gone. Severe collisions. That's wow. That's Roger Dan was retired in the pit lane and suddenly got disqualified from there. That is a full virtual safety car, which you would have to expect. That is.
I think that was a big glitch. If I'm
that was. I think that some of them came in together and had a lot of collisions.
The safety car's already there on track. I think there's a big glitch. A massive one. Yeah, someone's crashed into the safety. This may need a restart.
Where are you looking at the safety car? Someone crashed into the safety. I can't see the safety car yet.
On my screen, there's a safety car coming around turn 3.
There's a car with a bit of stopped on side of track. Okay, that was very, very strange.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. That hold, I think, I don't know. That looked a bit...
Yeah, everyone's saying the safety car came up before the start. Yeah, and suddenly just reappeared on my screen now before turn 5. So that is a complete and utter glitch for this one. Would you like to cut? So we are going to stop the race here, folks, because of a very, very strange glitch. We will be back very, very shortly. There will be no formation lap, but we'll get straight into the action. So please, folks, don't go anywhere. We will see you very shortly.